Rolling.
Good morning, everyone. Seth, thanks for having me, as well as John O'Brien and the KCA group for continuing this fight for opioid awareness. My name's Darren Rech. I'm with Alexander Building Construction, and we're part of the Butts family of companies. We have Shoemaker Construction in Conshohocken, of course, Alvin H. Butts in Allentown, and Alexander Building Construction here in Harrisburg, as well as State College. So I wanted to share with a couple things with everyone today, just a general toolbox, sort of a dashboard, if you will, and a couple things that we look at as far as the opioid addiction. This statistic really stood out. People who are addicted to alcohol are 2 times more likely to be addicted to heroin. And you can see the different statistics right there as I scroll. It's interesting, opioid painkillers are 40 times more likely to be addicted to heroin, which is significant. It's easier to access heroin than it is opioid prescriptions. And actually the street price of heroin is more affordable than opioid prescriptions. I saw a stat at one time. So that's very interesting statistic. Something else that's interesting, for the first time in US history, a person is more likely to die from an accidental opioid overdose than from a motor vehicle crash. So, the statistics are there. This has been an ongoing crisis for years. We continue to, through this process of this problem into 2021. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm with Alexander Building Construction, and we have offices in Allentown, Conshohocken, State College, and Harrisburg. So, we have projects in all these different areas throughout Pennsylvania. And the opioid problem is not just a rural problem or an urban problem, it's everywhere. And, some people, you see more cases in rural areas and other cases in larger cities. But the fact is, we're in the business of construction where tradespeople drive 2+ hours one way each day just to get to their job site. And so they're tired, they're worn out, there's a lot of fatigue. And, it's just part of why the construction industry is the leader in the opioid abuse problem. And so, there's some resources available, and especially in rural areas where some of the resources are lacking. You have employment opportunities are limited in some of those areas. So you may have a tendency to see more abuse of opioids in those kind of areas. But just a couple things to recognize opioid dependence. I'll read down through this and just chime in a little bit here with some different comments. But recognize opioid dependence, decline performance at work or at home. There's a loss of interest in favorite activities, changes in eating or sleeping habits, increased aggression or irritability, constantly feeling tired and sleepy, deteriorating relationships. So if you see any of those with coworkers, friends, family members, just keep those different symptoms and in mind. And those are typically what, when somebody is dependent on an opioid, you'll recognize some of those different descriptions. So, we need to continue to help, support, advise, guide, and assist, all of our family members, coworkers, friends. A lot of people may not want to come forward because of the embarrassment or reputation it causes from opioid addiction. We've gone through this pandemic. We're still in the COVID-19 pandemic here in 2021. And, it's leaving a lot of people feeling isolated, and which leads to relapse. And so be especially mindful of people, during this time, especially. So, a couple things to take away. We as enterprise here at Butts Family Companies, we plan to certainly take part in the Construction Opioid Awareness Week, which is this year, July 26th to July 30th. And so we're asking everybody just to raise the awareness and continue to do your part as much as you can. There's a lot to go over with opioid abuse, and more than we can cover in the toolbox talk. But just continue to raise that awareness with your people, your personnel, with different subcontractors on the job. And a couple of takeaways, Seth, before I send it back to you, is discuss openly. We've come a long way with this crisis, and there's still work to be done. But continue to reduce that stigma. A lot of people think that it's you're a drug addict or a low life, and really it's an addiction. It's a problem. So we got to really get past that as much as we can. Talk to someone you trust, and or if you need to reach out to someone who you think needs help. Either way, get the communications going. Find local resources that are available. Allow employees to leave their job just to go to a meeting or an appointment. Make sure you encourage those different resources, and because they're certainly out there, and they continue to get better and better. Turn in unused prescription opioids. We've heard a lot of this where you can turn in your, the unused prescription that's still sitting in your house somewhere in the medicine cabinet. We need to be careful of that with kids and visitors. And I was in CVS the other day, and they actually have a drop box. It's a white drop box right in front of the pharmacy. And I talked to the pharmacist about it, and you simply just go in there, and you can drop your unused container right into the drop box. It's there's no questions asked. And I asked, are these everywhere? And her response was basically, you got to call your local pharmacy, because they're not at every pharmacist, or every pharmacy. So most of us have throughout Pennsylvania a Rite Aid or a CVS or a Walgreens. Just check with your local pharmacy to figure out how you need if you'd like to dispose of those unused containers. Explore non-addictive options for pain relief. Talk to your doctor. Company has an EAP, the Employee Assistance Program. Go through that. The HR personnel. We all have union reps, and there's certainly people out there who we can talk to. And just reach out. And if someone's not sure if they want to, try to help someone with that decision making on your own there. And then lastly, we have, there is a national hotline. It's free, it's confidential, it's available 24/7, 365, has it in English and in Spanish. And, post that on your job sites, in your trailers, even in porta-johns. We've gotten a lot of feedback from people reading things in the porta-john of all places, right? And so, I'll leave you with that. And on July 26th through the 30th of that week, just let's continue to fight this opioid abuse and see if we can continue to make headway to solving this issue. So thank you for your time, Seth. Back to you.